I'll not carry any door keys anymore. I also don't want super expensive smart locks that require a lot of installation efforts or even door changing. If you're like me, I have an easy solution that I'm about to show, but before that I want to share my smart lock experience so far and how it is going to be changed, hopefully for good. My story can eventually help you avoid the mistakes I did. So, my first smart lock that I have is coming from Schlage, and it is having a Z-Wave wireless communication support. The problem here is that I bought it like new, but from a person and not from a store, because I found it a lot cheaper. So far so good, but it turns out that the Z-Wave protocol that this smart lock have is using another foreign Z-Wave frequency, probably the US one, and I'm in Europe. Respectively, I didn't manage to make it work with the Z-Wave hubs I have no matter what I try. Other than that, the lock is working decent, but it is far from smart in its current state, and I have to enter a code every time I want to unlock it, which is kind of annoying. After this lock, I got the regular SwitchBot lock with a SwitchBot keypad, and I even made a video about it. I decided to mount that SwitchBot lock outside and to retrofit my existing lock on the front door. Again, so far so good, but the SwitchBot lock is not designed for outdoor use and it is for inside use only. Nevertheless, I decided to risk that lock and I 3D printed one not very good looking roof that I put on top on the SwitchBot lock to keep it dry, and I leave it that way on harsh outdoor conditions from -20°C to +40. Rain, snow, hailstorms, you name it. Surprisingly, the lock is still working after 2 years of regular usage. During this 2 years period, I changed the batteries on the lock 3 or 4 times. The 3D printed roof was brutally damaged by me multiple times, and I wiped out several times the magnet sensor that SwitchBot lock have unintentionally. I also changed the whole SwitchBot keypad once, not because it was not working, but because my first model was without a fingerprint sensor. And as I told you, I don't like to remember codes, so I upgraded it. I also added that regular SwitchBot lock in my Home Assistant, which was piece of cake, and in my Alexa. Both integration was working just fine, but to be honest, I didn't use them a lot. And let me explain why. Is it because of using the lock not as designed, installing it outdoors on extreme conditions, or because of the not very close proximity between the magnet sensor and the lock? I'm not quite sure, but the status of the lock was not very accurate. I mean, it shows in the SwitchBot app, in the Home Assistant and in the Alexa that the lock is locked, for example, but it is actually unlocked, and vice versa. And this happened from time to time, so I never knew the real status of the lock unless I go outside and manually check it. A quick recalibration fixed the things, but temporary, and several weeks later I was in the same state of not knowing the real status of the lock. Apart from that, the lock was working fine and I didn't have to use keys at all, but I didn't manage to use the smart features of the lock to their full potential. I forgot to mention something important about the batteries of the regular SwitchBot lock. It uses two CR123A batteries, which I don't like at all, because they are expensive and they're hard to find here in the local stores, and I have to go to the big ones or to order them online. At least they last as advertised, and this is around 6 months. Now, SwitchBot is announcing their new SwitchBot Lock Pro, which is an upgraded and more polished version. Also, they were kind enough to send me one unit for an honest review. I, on the other hand, decided to risk that shiny and new SwitchBot Lock Pro as well, and again to mount it outdoors with the same ugly 3D printed roof. The new Lock Pro is having a different design, different mounting options, an additional quick key, which is my new hope, but more on that later. And attention here, it uses 4 regular AA batteries, which on top are lasting longer, up to 9 months. So, no more expensive and hard to find batteries. SwitchBot Lock Pro is also having a low battery unlock feature, which I don't know how to test at the moment, but it's there. The whole installation of the new Lock Pro took me around 10 to 20 minutes, and that includes removing of the old SwitchBot lock, then changing of that metal lock because my previous one was having quite a big thumb turn that didn't fit the new SwitchBot Lock Pro, and I was unable to use any of the included 8 adapters because that thumb turn was not removable. I must say that this same thumb turn was not a problem at all for the regular SwitchBot lock, as it has a bigger and totally different adapters. But never mind, not a big of a deal here after all. As I said, installing of the lock was quite easy. It comes with 2 different plates, and I used the A plate because it fits perfectly on my lock. Everything is well described in the manual, and there is even a compatibility check page where you can double check if your existing lock is supported for retrofitting. I will link that page in the video description if you want to check yours. Also there, you can find installation video tutorials that are really helpful. Alexa, Google Home, Apple Watch and Android Watch support is working great, but you need an additional hub that could be either SwitchBot Hub Mini or SwitchBot Hub 2. Having either of these hubs will allow you to enable SwitchBot Cloud service, and then you can control your lock with any of these popular voice assistants or from everywhere in the world using the app. Choosing cloud and using hubs is not the only option here. Have in mind that the Lock Pro can work only locally if you wish and without any additional hubs. I really like the fact that you have a choice, go with the cloud or stay local only. I personally am using SwitchBot Hub 2 and I have the cloud services enabled, but you can decide otherwise. Matter standard is a hot topic lately, and SwitchBot Lock Pro does not directly support Matter, but can be used as a secondary device via SwitchBot Hub 2 or Hub Mini with Matter support, so you can sync it to the Apple Home app or Google Home. I didn't manage to test that, but I'm planning to do that in the near future. Meanwhile, if you have more info, please share it in the comments. I mentioned something about Hope and Quick Key earlier, where Quick Key is a new physical key inside the knob of the Lock Pro that can be used to control your device. By default, pressing that button once will lock or unlock your device. The beauty here is that the knob will rotate as per your initial calibration, which means you will have hard time making the lock not calibrated by manually rotating the knob. I'm not quite sure did I manage to explain this well, but believe me, I hope this quick key will fix my not knowing the status and often recalibration issues that I had with the regular SwitchBot lock before. The next interesting thing about this quick key is double pressing, or why not even triple pressing. Double quick key pressing is already supported in the SwitchBot app, and you can assign that action to something useful. But imagine what can you do if these events can be caught in Home Assistant. I can tell you what can be done. Everything. And speaking of Home Assistant, the regular lock was supported, but currently the SwitchBot Lock Pro model is not among the supported devices yet. I guess this will be changed for good in some of the next Home Assistant releases, but we will see. At the end of the day, it is quite normal the support not to be ready everywhere right from the beginning, as SwitchBot Lock Pro is a brand new device that is just released. At the time of shooting this video, you can only pre-order the SwitchBot Lock Pro on a promotional price. You can find the links in the video description, and if you are watching this in the future, then check these links again, as SwitchBot are making flash sales almost every month. Buying something from these links will help my channel, as I'll receive a small commission from your purchases with no additional cost for you. Don't forget to register for my upcoming Home Assistant webinar, which is absolutely free. Thanks for watching, I'm Kirill and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!